Hi, welcome to Rocky Mountain Ranch Research with Katie Paige. I created this channel for all of you so I could take you all along with me as I continue to investigate and conduct interviews and go on location to try and uncover the answers to what was happening out there all those years ago at the Rocky Mountain Ranch location, which is located in Elbert County, Colorado. This activity has been going on for decades and still continues to this day. And there's just so many components to all the unusual things that were happening there. In this episode, we're going to be talking about and diving into these strange, mysterious boxes that I encountered as a young girl in the daytime, and I will be sharing that with you. And later in this video, I'll be taking you to the location of where I encountered this strange box when I was 10 years old. And it is the first time back to that location since that time. First, though, I would like to share with you the first time that I learned that others encountered this box as well. And that was through the APRO report, which stands for the Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization. This ranch, unbeknownst to me, my sister, and my family, was actually investigated back in the late 70s by Dr. Leo Sprinkle, PhD, out of Laramie, Wyoming, along with Dr. John Durr, PhD, and Peter Van Arsdale, PhD. What's fascinating, though, when I look at this original APRO report, the box is mentioned actually several times. So before we get into going on location to where I had my personal box encounter, I would like to share with you what the APRO report says about these strange and mysterious boxes. The first time the box is mentioned is actually on page 3, and I'm going to go ahead and read exactly what is written in the APRO report. He and the oldest son in the family saw a box, approximately 3 feet long and 18 inches wide and 18 inches thick, which emitted strange hums and other sounds, while flashing on and off with multicolored lights, giving an appearance of an electronic device. The next time the APRO report mentions the box is on page 12, item 13, and it is a quote from the adult female who lived at the ranch house at the time, the boys' mother. And she writes, "I wasn't feeling well that night, and I went back to lie down in the dark for a while. I had pulled the drape part way on the window, creating a triangular area. There were some patches of snow outside, and from where I was lying on the bed, the triangular area was lit up by a background of snow patches. I lit a cigarette, and as the match went out, I realized that the triangular area wasn't lit up anymore. I scrambled down to the foot of the bed and looked out. I could see only a middle section of something that looked like a box. It was black and very shiny. It wasn't lit, but looked like it reflected light. There was a rounded shape around it. It looked like something was carrying it under his arm. It was close to the window, within about 2 to 3 feet. There was a line of trees behind the house, and it was between the trees and the house. The trees are about 4 or 5 feet from the house. I ran in to tell everyone what had happened. We ran outside, and as usual, no one could find anything. This has happened more often than not. By the time you tell someone or get your coat on, etc., you couldn't find anything. But we found that if we didn't turn the porch light on, we could get out quickly enough to hear something." Now, the next time it's mentioned in the APRO report is on page 14. And when I read this for the first time several years back, it really led a lot of credibility to the box encounters. Because so far, I personally had a box encounter. My sister had a box encounter as well, and along with several of the other adults on the Rocky Mountain Ranch. But what struck me about this testimony is it's from the undersheriff at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. It is on page 14, section 18, box with blinking lights. I went back to the law officer, and he had a talk with him, and he started telling me about some of the incidents that had happened again and about how he had pictures. He said they have a box, and he had seen it on occasion. He had seen blinking lights where there shouldn't be any, and trees and such. He said he was out on patrol one night and he saw in a group of trees this box that was blinking. He said he didn't want to go in alone, so he raced back to town and picked up another law officer to go with him. When he got back, the trees were gone, the box was gone, everything was gone. He thought they had gone into the ground. He had seen things go into the ground before. He is reasonably convinced that they just go into the ground. The next time the APRO report mentions the box is also on page 14, section 19. It's titled, Black Box Makes Angry Sounds, and it states, in the trees, a bright yellow light, not bright I guess, a little dim but yellow, looked like an old car headlight, just shined on the car. The back was toward the trees, the back of the car, that is. We got out and walked over, and there was a box on the ground. I told Joe to stay back about 10 feet. It was making a buzzing sound, just like zzz, and there was light like inside it, but not on it. It's hard to describe. It was night, but there was a full moon, and as I walked to about 4 feet from it, it changed its tone entirely. It sounded like a bunch of angry bees. The sound went up, so I backed away and I told Joe to go back to the car and watch me as I walked up to the box. We then walked back to the car and I told Joe that whatever happens, do not leave the car. Then I went back and the box was gone. That's very similar to what happened to me here, and I will go into that in a second. The next time the box is mentioned in the APRO report is page 20 and 21, and it reads, one thing they did was that they mentioned the box, and that I did the right thing from backing away from it. It was what I called an implied threat. They nodded, and approximately 20 to 30 feet away, Bigfoot, as I call him, got up and walked toward the box. The box changed tone, and he dropped. The Bigfoot dropped to his knees. They said, as you can see, they are quite lethal. Okay. So my personal encounter was the box happened. It was the spring. We were in a pickup truck. It was me and the youngest son and the father that my mother was dating. And we went to this little outbuilding shed to get something out of the shed. And then he was going to drive us back behind the woods, behind the ranch house in the Ponderosa Pines. There was a road that went back there. I don't know, maybe we were just going to go sightseeing for deers or animals. I'm not really sure why we were making that loop. But to my memory, I'm 10 years old. I recall stopping at this outbuilding, getting some things out of the shed, getting back into the pickup truck. And then we went around this curve and he stopped the pickup. We got out for some reason. And as I look back in the tree line, I saw a box off the ground about 3.5 to 4 feet. It was just basically floating there. And in my mind, in my memory, it was like this wide. So what is that, about, I don't know, 2 feet? And then like this, and it was emitting a tone, and it had lights, but to me, it looked like they were inside of the box. It wasn't like a light shining on the box. It looked illuminated from inside the box. It was making this hum sound, or this hum sound. And I just remember Jack screaming at the youngest son and I to get back into the truck. Get in the truck. It's the box. It's a box. It's a box. Get in the truck. We jump in the back of the pickup truck. I look back into the trees and that box was just gone. It disappeared. It vanished. And then we went around the curve in panic. It was very scary. I believe there was a dog with us at the time. So that was my personal encounter. It was a daytime encounter with this box. And here coming up, I'm going to share with you the first time I go back and I find the location of where this actually happened.
The box, this is it. Yeah, the truck here, it would have been right there. This is it. Here, this is it. This is where I saw it. Because we were going to go around a curve. As we were going to turn the curve. And I just remember I was standing like where they are. So this is how far away I was from it. I was like standing here-ish. That's how far away it was. And I just remember being over here and running, and Jack was screaming, "It's the box! It's the box!" And it sounded like it was going, it was like it was there in that tree line. And I just remember him, "Get in the truck! Get in the truck! Get in the truck!" And we were jumping in the back of the truck, and he took off. It was right here. This is what I remember. This is so cool. This to me is super cool because this is how I remember it. This is it. This is it. And it seemed like, get in the truck, in the truck. And I just remember jumping in the truck, and he had the dogs. And then we kept going. It was facing just like this. It was just like this. My memory, the thing was like this high off the ground. So it was not sitting on the ground. It was off the ground.
That might be like that thing I saw.
And my hand is shaking right now. Right here. I'm like, this is it. This is the spot. This is it. And see, with the camera crew at the dark in the snow, we wanted to come back in here.
Right.
We came around this curve. That's it. That's exactly where it was. Oh, I can't tell you what a relief that is to see that. That's so cool.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Rocky Mountain Ranch Research. I'm your host, Katie Paige. I look forward to many more upcoming adventures with all of you. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Rocky Mountain Ranch Research. That way you can keep up on all the happenings and all the investigations and adventures that we will have together as we seek to find answers to what was happening out there at Rocky Mountain Ranch. Take care.